So Unit 5, the title is An Eye to the Future. An Eye to the Future. So you do some, but you take the future into account. Just like when you save money, when you want to go on holiday. So an eye to the future, you plan ahead for the future. And obviously, the grammar points are covered in this unit have to do with future forms. Future forms. Take a look at the test your grammar on page 44. The test your grammar warm-up exercise. Now take a look at these sentences. We have 6 of them. Which future form, which structure in these sentences expresses the following? An intention. You intend to do something. You have decided to do something. A prediction. You guess it will rain, it will be windy. A future fact based on a timetable schedule. Okay, you have a schedule, you have information, you have evidence. So a future fact based on that. An arrangement between people. You and your friend, you and your relatives. A spontaneous decision. Spontaneous means you have decided right now. A suggestion. You suggest to do something. So take a look at 6 sentences and try to match them with these uses. Yes, go ahead. So, do you think? Number 1. Who would like to read number 1? Yes? Tomorrow's weather. Tomorrow's weather will be warm and sunny. Yes. What is it? Prediction. I guess. Okay. It will be warm and sunny. Yes. Number 2. Based on a timetable. Just like what? Airplane flights. Our schedule at the university. So you have evidence and you want to describe a future fact. So you can use this form. Number 3. Yes, go ahead. Intention. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a mother. Whatever. You have the intention. Intention. Yes. Number 4. You and your friends have agreed to meet together, have dinner. Yes. Shall we have a break? I'm saying you might agree or disagree. So it's what? It's a suggestion. Anyone else? Last one. Last one. Be easy. Yes, go ahead. Spontaneous. What does spontaneous decision mean? Right now, I've decided. It's cold. It's cold. So I'll turn the AC off. I'll open the window. So you use will when you have a spontaneous decision. You have just decided at the time of speaking. Yes? No, it's not. Right now I've decided. I have some visitors at home. I'll make some coffee. I'll open the window. It's hot in here. I'll open the window. It's what? Spontaneous decision. You have just decided. Right now, decided to do something. So you use will. Okay? So take a look at these slides. trying to hide this, but unfortunately it won't go away. So we have to live with this. All right. Because we are recording, and if you turn off the light, then you can see nothing. Okay, so future forms. We use will and going to describe something in the future. We use them to describe the future and to make predictions. So both of them are used for what? For describing the future and making prediction. It will rain, it will be warm, it will be sunny. But will is more formal than going to. So what does formal mean? Use it more often in official writing. You'll find it in books. But going to is more appropriately used in conversations, chatting, emails, and so on. Now, what about going to separately? When do I use it? So we use going to if we predict that something will happen in the future. According to what? Based on what? Evidence. So I have information. I have facts. So if you have facts, now you can use going to describe something that will happen in the future. So take a look at the example. Look, this building is going to collapse, is going to fall. Look, this girl is going to fall. You can see the building that's leaning. You have evidence. So you use going to describe something that is going to happen. You predict will happen. The building will fall or is going to fall. Another use for going to is if we have been told that something is going to happen. So either you have the evidence or someone else told you the evidence. So take a look at the example. Did you know that the textbooks are going to be changed? Your friend told you that your textbooks are going to be changed. So where did the evidence come from? Your friend. So whether you know the evidence or you have the evidence or you have been told, use going to. Another use is when you talk about your plans and decisions in the future. So you have a plan for the summer, next weekend, or the future in general. What do you want to study? Where do you want to go after 2 years? I'm going to study English literature after graduating from high school. So you have a plan, future, decision, use going to. What about will? It is used when we make predictions, we guess, based on what? Opinion or past experiences, something that happened to you before, so you know it. But compare with going to, we predict based on what? Evidence. That's the difference. With will, your predictions are based on your opinion or past experiences, something that happened to you before. Clear? So example, the student will find this exam very difficult. Either you know the student or you know the test. You know that the student is hardworking or in this case lazy, is not hardworking, and you know the exam is difficult. So you say that the student will find this exam very difficult. Another example, I think that he will pass the placement test. You know he is a hardworking or she is a hardworking student, so you guess that she will pass. Based on what? Based on your opinion or your past experiences. You have taken this exam before. Another use for will is to announce intentions that were just decided on at the time of speaking. We have just covered this. If you have just decided to do something, use will. Going to. Example, I have to go now. I'll see you later. It's hot in here. I'll open the door. It's time. I'll give you the exam. So if I've decided now, right now, at the time of speaking, use what? I will. To make promises. If you want to promise something, use will and not going to. I promise I will take you with me next week.
It's a promise. With promises, use will. To make offers. If you offer help to someone, use will. You paid for the last dinner. You and your friend are fighting at the cashier. Who's going to pay? Huh? So you paid for the last dinner. I'll get this one. I'll pay for this dinner. So if you are making an offer, use will and not going to. Yes? If? I don't get your point. Where? Which example? In general? Oh. Yeah, the conditionals. That's a different thing. I'm just using, now, we're just reviewing some of the structures and some of the forms that we can use to describe the future. There are others, as you will see now. Okay? So I can use the simple present as well. Simple present. Take a look. We use it to talk about actions and states in the future. Although it's what? Simple present. When do I use it? When it's a fixed arrangement. Like what? Timetable, schedule. So take a look at the example. The meeting starts at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow. Tomorrow is future. But I've used the present simple to describe the future. Why? Because it's a fixed arrangement. It happens every Sunday, or every Monday, or every month, or every weekend. If it's fixed, like airline timetables, like university schedule, it's a fixed arrangement, you can use the simple present to describe the future. Another example is, my flight is at 12:45 tomorrow. My flight. Airplane schedules are what? Fixed. You know the date and you know the time. So you can use the present simple to describe something that will happen in the future. Yes? Very good. We make sure we don't give you this because both of them will be correct. Or at least both of them will be acceptable. You'll see in a minute. I'll show you that sometimes two structures have the same meaning. There's no difference between them. You can use both of them to describe the future. Okay? So, how many structures or forms have we seen that we can use to describe the future? Going to, will, present simple. And the present progressive. Progressive. What's a progressive? The continuous. In some books, so don't be surprised, in some books they call it the present progressive, the same as the present continuous. So we use it to talk about planned actions. When? In the future. So if you plan to do something in the summer, you plan to do something next weekend, you can use the present continuous. So I'm traveling to Canada. Travel needs what? Planning. So you can use the present continuous, is traveling, am traveling, are traveling, to describe the future. They are working this summer. It's not summer yet. It's at sometime in the future. So you can use the present continuous to describe the future. When? Yes. Some of them are interchangeable. Both structures are correct. When you make changes in fixed arrangements like timetables, is fixed. Our class is from 3 to 5 every Thursday, right? What if I needed to postpone it for 15 or half an hour next week? Or meet on Wednesday instead of Thursday? If you make a change, you can use the present continuous to describe the change that you have made. So we are meeting at 8 a.m., not 7 tomorrow. Again, we are meeting at 8 a.m., not at 7 tomorrow, because you have made a change to a fixed schedule. The fixed schedule is that we usually meet at 7 what's tomorrow? Friday? Every Friday, let's say. So if you made a change to a fixed time arrangement, you can use the present continuous. Another structure that we can use to describe the future is will, be, and a verb in the ing. Let's take a look. Next Friday, my sister will be celebrating her 23rd birthday. At this time tomorrow, just like this time, tomorrow, I will be watching the last episode of my favorite series. So when do I use this structure? It's used to talk about an activity going on at a particular time or over a period in the future. Now celebrating, watching, takes a period of time, right? Could be for 1 hour, 2 hours. Are you following me? So if the activity is going to take time, has a beginning and end, so you can use will, be, a verb with ing to describe that action which is going to take place sometime in the future. So again, next Friday, so it's the future. My sister will be celebrating her 23rd birthday. It could take 2 hours, more or less. At this time tomorrow, Friday, this time, at 3, I will be watching the last episode of my favorite series. Okay? Another use for the same structure is to talk about a routine activity. Routine means happens on a regular basis, every day, every month, every year. So we use it to talk about a routine activity or a previous decision or arrangement, something that you decided before. So I will be teaching every Saturday and Monday. If you do something every Saturday and Monday, it becomes routine, right? Becomes routine. So you can use this structure to describe this action or this situation in the future. So I'll be teaching every Saturday and Monday until the end of the semester, of this semester. Another use, or third use, you can use it instead of the present continuous or progressive in planned activities. So both sentences are correct. If you say, we are leaving for Dubai at 7 a.m., it's correct. Or, we will be leaving for Dubai at 7 a.m., is also correct. So if you have a planned activity, something that you have planned, you can describe it using the present continuous or will, be, and a verb in the ing. Okay? Perfect. Future perfect. What does perfect mean in one word? Perfect. What does it mean? Completed. Done. Very good. So you get the idea that perfect usually means something that's before the time of speaking. So when we say present perfect, something that happened before the time of speaking. Past perfect, before some time in the past. Future perfect, before some time, specific time in the future. So take a look at this example. We use it to say that something will be ended when? In the future, completed, or achieved by a particular point in the future. So before 8 o'clock, for example, p.m., it will be ended, finished, completed. So you use the future perfect. Let's take a look at the example. By the time you get home, you're not home yet. You could go home at 7, 6, whatever. So it's in the future. By the time you get home, I will have cleaned your room. So before you come home, your room will be cleaned. So you can use the future perfect to describe an action that will be completed, finished, before some time, a specific time in the future. This one, will have cleaned, the past participle of the verb, spoken, done, and so on. Within 30 years, so before the end of 30 years, space travel, traveling to space, will have become commonplace. Everyone can travel to space. So with development and advancement, in 30 years, we all could possibly travel to space. So again, within 30 years, space travel will have become commonplace. Commonplace, everyone can go to space. Okay? It doesn't sink in from the first time. You need to go home. You need to do the exercises in the student book and the workbook, and compare your answers with the answer key as well. Okay? It needs time. Now, could you please open your textbooks on page 48, where we have the reading text. Yes, it's out of 10. All right. What's the title of our reading text today? What's the title? Today's teenagers are just fine. Are they fine? What do you think? Are they fine? Can you describe them using adjectives? Can you describe teenagers using adjectives? Very quickly, don't think about it. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word teenager? Could have a brother or a sister. Yes? Good. All right. I need adjectives. Huh? Ambitious. Stubborn. Doesn't change its mind. Spoiled. Hyperactive. Hyperactive. Yes. What else? Huh? Sometimes only? All right. So foolish. What else? What? Couch potato. You know couch potato? He likes to sit in front of the TV playing PlayStation and so on. So again, let's take a look at it from another angle. What do old people think of teenagers? They think they are irresponsible, lazy. What about the opposite? What do teenagers think of old people? That's enough. All right. So what about parents, fathers and mothers? What do they think of teenagers? They want them to be hardworking and perfect and ideal. Yes. What about the opposites? What do teenagers think of their fathers and mothers? How we can change them, not the opposite. How can we change their minds? Good. So take a look at the text. Today we have a different kind of teenagers. They are different because they are the opposite of our negative attitude. They are successful, ambitious, and hardworking, and caring as well. So take a look at the questions in exercise. First, we have a very nice expression. Number 2, exercise 2. Look at the photos and read the headings and the introduction. Why do you think young people get a bad press? Get a bad press. And what does this mean? Get a bad press. Exercise number 2. Exercise number 2. Bad press. To get bad press. Yes. Or bad reputation is the word. Impression. People get a negative impression or attitude against what? Teenagers. No phones. Remember my rule? I have 3 rules. I'd rather increase them into 4. So no phones, please. Focus. So again, to get a bad press means negative impression. People don't think that teenagers are hardworking, ambitious, successful. They think the opposite. Okay? So take a look at the questions first in exercise number 3. Work with the partner and answer these questions about each person. We have 4 of them. 1. What is their particular talent? Each one of them has a particular talent, skill. What is it? 2. What do you learn about their family or childhood? Was it positive, negative, helpful, bad, good? 3. Who has influenced their life and career? Influence, whether it's negatively or positively. 4 rather. What have they achieved in life so far? How are they successful? 5. What is their ambition? What do they want to do more? 6. Do they spend their time with friends? So, as usual, you're not going to read everything. To save time, so let's say 2 rows over here, you are going to read about the first one, Darius Knight. So 2 rows over here, just read the first one about Darius. 2 rows over here, read about Fraser. Next rows, right in the middle, read about Harry. And at the end of the class, please read about Sarah 14. So I'll give you about 6 minutes. Start. And of course, as you read, I need you to do something else for me. Underline future forms, the ones that we have learned so far. Okay, so underline future forms and try to answer the questions exercise number 3.